Okay, page 2, your measurements are as follows. You will need 2 A pieces, and they measure 6 5/8 by 4 1/4. Your B piece is 4 1/2 across by 7 3/4. C is 6 7/8 by 9. D is 5 1/4 by 7. And E is 5 5/8 by 2 1/2. Okay, so those are your pieces for page 2. Get those cut and grab your scoreboard. Okay, each of your A pieces, put them in your scoreboard on the 6 5/8 inch side, and we're going to score them at half and at 5/8. So the next tick over. So you're creating a little gusset there. Okay, so both of them like that, half and 5/8. Your B piece, put it in the scoreboard on the 4 1/2 inch side and score it at half. And then turn it 90 degrees or a quarter turn. And score again at half and at 7 1/4. And that's on the 7 3/4 side. Oh, I've cut mine just a smidge too short. Oh well, it'll still work. Okay, your C piece. Score C at half on the 9 inch side. Your D piece, half on the 5 1/4 inch side. Lastly, your E piece, put it in the scoreboard on the 2 1/2 inch side and score at half. And then you're going to rotate it a quarter turn or 90 degrees either way, either this way or that way, so as long as it's a quarter turn, and score again at half and at 5 1/8. Okay, so you've got something that looks like that. Alright, now we can move our scoreboard out of the way for a bit. We're going to add our score tape to all of the 1/2 inch sections. On the valley side, making sure that we leave a space between the adhesive and the score line. And now when you have, with your A pieces, you have 2 score lines close together forming a little gusset, but the same rule applies, making sure that, come on camera, focus, work with me, there we go, making sure that you have that space in between the adhesive and the score line. Okay, and the next step is to miter the corners. So, when you're mitering the corners when there's a little gusset like that, just start from, ugh, lighting is horrible. Start from the top score line. You can see the picture, I think, better in the actual PDF. Okay, so just don't cut into that second score line. Start from the half-inch score line to the edge of the paper. And now when you have intersecting score lines, so this is going to become a pocket. So those two get mitered normally. But when you have intersecting score lines, cut in at a little bit of an angle until the score lines meet, and then cut out at an angle. Okay, so you get just a slight, it's not, you can do it straight across like that, but I find it's a little bit better if you cut in at an angle and out at an angle, so it's not quite so sharp of a cut across. Hope that made sense. Okay, so this as well is going to be a little tiny little baby pocket. So again, we're going to cut in until they meet, so that's where the two score lines intersect. And then we're going to cut out at an angle, so you get that. Get rid of the biddies. Okay, so now we're going to start to, well, first crease and fold all of your score lines, and then we're going to take your first base page, flip it over, and we are going to adhere your two A pieces. Your two A pieces are going to go on the bottom of the base page, one on the left and one on the right. Okay, so one on that side. And one on the right side. Okay, now the reason we have this little gusset is because these two flaps are going to be going over a few other pieces, so you want them to have room to be able to close. So now piece B is going to become a pocket. So the best way that I find to do pockets is to fold the sides in first and remove the score tape backing. And then fold the bottom up. And see, now this is where I did the straight across fold, so they meet, but I like to have this little bit of an overlap on the corners, because what this does is it enables, when you put tags in there, it's a smooth channel all the way down, whereas here they can get caught a little bit where, you know, where these two meet, or if you do the bottom and then have this overlapping over top, they can get caught on this part. So I just like to do that angle in, angle out when I'm mitering them, and then fold in the sides first and then the bottom, and that creates a really smooth channel. So this is going to go right at the bottom of the base page, in between those two A pieces. Okay, so there is your pocket right there. And now your C-piece is going to go at the top of the base page. Okay, so it's going to go over top of the pocket, but it's going to go underneath the two A pieces. I think mine might be just a smidge, yeah, it's a smidge too wide. Okay, so that C piece goes right at the top of your base page, covering your B pocket, but it'll be underneath the A pieces. And now your D piece is going to line up with the top of the base page so that it folds down. Okay, so here is the 1/2 inch section with the adhesive, with the score tape. So this is the part, the top of it is going to line up with the top of your C piece that you just put down. Okay, so remove the backing from your score tape. Line up the top of your D piece with the top of your C piece, and then adhere it down. So you're going to have this little space in between the D piece and your A pieces. Okay, so this is D, and these are your A's, and this is your C, and then your B pocket underneath. Alright, now open up your D piece, and your little E pocket is going to go on the side of your D piece. So remove the side score tape backings first, and then fold the bottom up. So on this one I did the angle in, angle out on both sides. So see how just in the corners there's enough overlap that the corners can adhere together. And then remove the bottom part. So now you've got the smooth channel for your tags. And now this is going to go on the right side and the top part of D. Okay, so there you have a little pocket, and then your D folds up over top of it. Now we're going to add some magnets. So the first magnet is going to close piece D to C. So I think I said that the E pocket was going on D. It's actually going on C. My apologies. So first we will put a magnet right, or a piece of score tape right about there on the D piece. Add 2 magnets. Another piece of score tape. And close it up. So now D to C is magnetized. And then we need ones closing our A pieces to each other. So you can have the right over the left, or the left over the right, whichever way you want to do it. It doesn't really matter. Your choice on that one. So just put it on the edge of the inside of one of your A pieces, and then close it over the other A so they are locked down. Okay, and then you want one closing this C piece down to your B pocket. So up here somewhere, making sure you leave at least a ½ inch at the top for your pattern paper to completely cover the magnet. That might be a little bit close to the edge. You want it a little bit more than that, but that'll just do it. That's the closest you would want it to the edge. And then close that down. So now you've got that adhered. So C is now magnetized to B. And then your A's. And there you go. That's page 2. So I'm going to get my pattern paper all inked up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put a few pieces on. I'll put the rest on with you. So I'm going with the balloon paper, and I did some embossing on this one. I thought the gears really complemented this paper, so I used a gear die, or not a die, a gear embossing folder. I might add some actual metal gear little bits and bobs onto this page and the next one as well. So this at the top. And then I've got one of the border strips, a gear border strip in the center. And then here I did just a little bit of stamping. I've got like this one's kind of a script with a butterfly and a clock and everything, and then a compass down here. I haven't got anything in the pocket yet. I'm going to do that later. Down here, so I'll put the gears down here. I was re-inking my ink pad, and I managed to get ink on a couple of things that I didn't mean to get ink on. So there's some of these pieces that have little tiny bits of ink, like concentrated ink, where they shouldn't. Oh goodness, you can see this is where I put the lid down. There's a big ink mark down there. Yeah, it pays to be a little bit more careful than I was, I guess. I thought I was being careful, but apparently I was not. Oh well. Nothing got too inked up, but there's a few pieces that have a little splitch and splotch here and there that I don't like, but okay, so that there. And now on the inside, so I just put just some plain paper here for journaling, and then I did use, this is from the Steampunk Spells. I just love this one sheet, and it just worked so well with this, so I decided to use it. You can just use the plain blue as well from this collection. But I love that Graphic 45, they use kind of this, like there's only a few color palettes that they use, so the colors from different collections really work well together. There's one of my little sploochy marks that I didn't mean to get on there. And then the same on the other side. Okay, and then we'll open this up. I've got the balloons at the top and the bottom, and then just that kind of faint patterned cream colored paper in the center. And that is page 2. So I'm going to do just a little bit more decorating afterwards, maybe some gears and stuff. But for now, we can move on to page 3.